you doing, boo?
Oh, bitch, she tired.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, busy running.
I
can tell by them legs.
Running. That's it. Yeah, you should see the rest of it. Ow.
Damn.
Okay. Well, we ain't recording yet. So
Look, I mean,
don't throw it out there if you're not going to put it out.
Listen, onlyfans.com
That
for
part.
$89.99 for
Oh, not 89.
oh
Why
sorry,
did it be like-
$89.98.
why should it be like only like elbows and pinks and pinky toes and stuff?
Right, it'd be like,
And
Yeah.
I'm still cashing them checks.
I know,
Boom.
honey,
Okay,
period.
look.
I know that's right. I know. I sure get married. You get that OnlyFans. It'd be like underwear shots. I'm like, bitch, I can see that on Instagram.
Hey, aunties, it's Michael Munoz from the In Yo Mouth podcast, and I'm back again. So what's brewing?
Welcome back, Michael Munoz.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And Ask Yo Aunteas, dressed for the gods. So get your cups ready for Minority Report.
Hey, welcome to Minority Report. It's Auntie Kerel.
Hey, y'all, it's Auntie Dawon.
And Auntie Jerrell.
Oh, she went to the dramatics. Okay, then. See, you need to do that with a wig. That's what you need to do. That's like soap opera turn.
Yeah, for real though. No, it's more like this.
Da-da. And community, you might see a familiar face if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening to it on the podcast, you'll hear a familiar voice. It's the original OG auntie, the original one that we first guest we ever had. Or did we have a husband before? Maybe, but they don't even count. So the first literally OG auntie, Mr. Michael Munoz from In Your Mouth podcast.
Hey, Auntie Coquita in the house. Auntie Coquita in the house. You know?
And I had to look it up today too. I was like, okay, it seems just like yesterday when we had you on. But bitch, it was episode 32. This is episode 146 right now.
146.
We
This
did the ever famous crossover podcast
Yeah.
where I was on yours, you were on mine.
Yes.
We were like intermingling fluids, right?
Ooh,
In all sorts of ways.
I missed the fluids part.
Oh no, you were there.
Oh, I was there. Oh, damn.
Oh, you were there. They were absorbed. They were
Okay, look.
Okay, won't be the first and won't be the last.
He was there and she lived to see another day.
Here we go.
The end.
2 years later, here I am. How
Baby
you
in mine
been?
though.
Ooh.
Oh my God, I'm good. Busy as hell, but you know what? Blessed and booked, or booked and blessed. How does it go?
All the above.
BB.
Either way.
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
That's how
Yep.
it go.
BB and not the gay kind.
Ooh.
At least tonight.
Oh, well, you know, been in
I mean, it's hump day when we're recording though, so it has to be tonight.
that's true. Oh,
It's a given.
Okay. All right.
BB and not the CC.
Oh my God.
Y'all know it's
CC,
like some
like
BB and
CC
Winans.
Pennison, or
Oh,
does
her
CC
too.
or does CC stand for like Clitty Couture, or
It could have, because there were some rumors.
City.
There were some rumors. But you know CC Winans.
or CC Winans, CC
Ah,
Babcock, CC
Ooh.
Babcock.
There we go. See all the CCs.
My
Sierra.
cousin CC.
Hey, CC. Everybody got a cousin CC.
Everybody got a cousin CC.
Because my cousin married his wife is CC.
Really?
Oh no.
So all is well in New York. How was COVID? So like we literally looking back at that episode and listening back, it's just like we were young and naive at that point in time.
No.
Like,
Hold
that
on.
was- exactly.
As she takes a sip, she said,
A
"Oh,
whole
man,
glass of
boy."
wine. I
Well,
know.
listen, let me tell you something, and I guess we're just snowballing to the reality of it all very
Yeah.
quickly today, or tonight, I should say, because I say this, and you all know this, right? Because we know each other and we've communed before. But I live in 120 square feet of Times Square.
Yes.
Time MF Square. So while everyone out there was watching the news, I was living the news via my window.
Yeah.
So the world shut down, Times Square empty. right? Then obviously I can't even imagine the homeless or like the people with mental issues that live out on the street waking up one day to seeing the purge of it all and not knowing what's happening, right? So then they're running the streets, right? And then on top of that, those people that feed them, the drug dealers, right here in Times Square, just running the streets. Then George Floyd happens and all the protesting happens. And now I'm watching that and I'm watching people get tased and beaten outside my windows. I am 7 floors up from the ground and I might as well just be on the ground.
Yeah.
Right? Because I live in a building built in 1921. So like the windows are pretty much that old, I still think. And so it's a lot. It was a lot. I was sick for 5.5 weeks, 4.5 weeks, 5 weeks.
That's wild.
Real sick. And then having
and that's
all
right,
that
because I feel like we went on your show again around the time you were like sick or like just coming out of being sick or something
coming
like that.
out. I pushed through. I pushed through because I'm a survivor. But the whole thing, it was really, I mean, it was traumatic for a lot of people in a lot of different ways. The level of trauma that I was absorbing and not realizing I was absorbing through watching, like, there was no shutting it off. At least those who weren't in my situation could shut the news off. I couldn't. There was no shutting it off. And then being sick on top of it, there was literally no. And there's a lot of PTSD from it. There's like the minute I have a sniffle, I get like anxiety attacks about it all. What is happening? So there's a lot that happened. So COVID was interessante. You know what I mean? Just interesting to say the least. I am blessed. Blessed and highly favored.
Glad to see you like doing well though now.
Yeah, blessed and highly favored. Pushed through. The podcast is doing well. I kept pushing through. Right, my mother still doesn't know. So I mean, well, I didn't tell her because it wouldn't have helped. It wouldn't it would have just stressed somebody else out who was going through their own BS that like would want to help that couldn't help, you know.
Question for you then. So you're literally in like Times Square, and when the world shut down, because like you're used to probably like noise and sound and things like that. When there was like nobody there, did that like almost make it even more elevated? Because you're just like, wow, this is so not the norm because I'm used to the taxi drivers and the drug dealers and the da-da-da-da-da.
Well, there was no time to think. That was the crazy thing. That was the crazy thing because the weekend before, let it be known that we were out in the streets because the news cycle here, at least, was all over the place. It was like, this is serious. This is not so serious. It's like the flu. It's deadly. This and that. And we were getting a lot of mixed reviews. So we were out in the streets because I had friends visiting this and that stupidly. I also stupidly post. I own it, right? We all make mistakes here. Own it. Learned a lesson. Got a lot of hate mail. Just being, because I was out in the streets and posting. So learned a lesson. And then got shut down on Monday, March 16th, I think it was. The 17th, I woke up sick.
Wow. Got it.
Right? But I didn't realize it was sick. I thought it was mental. And then a few days later, I felt better. And a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine who lives like 10 blocks away, woke up sick. And so I ran out into the streets because I was like, oh, I feel better. Like it was all just in my mind. And everything, it was like zombie apocalypse. Everything was boarded up. Everything. There was one pharmacy opened. I had like that Naomi Campbell, like, you know, hazmat suit on. Bought out the pharmacy from whatever else they had, you know, all the brujeria of it all, the oregano oil, the vitamin C, whatever I could find, I bought, ran into his building, dropped it off in the hallway, and ran out. And then the next day, I had no sense of taste and smell.
Golly.
So there was no time. There was just no time to think. There was no time to think about that. Because then all of a sudden, everything was happening at that point. Like it went from like, oh, this is like something serious to it's really serious. And we're off to the races. And then it was one thing after the next. And then it was like, all of a sudden there's all screaming in the streets again, but it's a different kind because it's the people out or it's the drug dealers fighting or it's it's whatnot, and it's just like
you should have had a video camera. You should have had one of them old school Super 8s in that window. That would have been a dope documentary to see. Literally, because Times Square in the world is literally like the icon that is Times Square, and just
I just wasn't thinking. I was thinking survive. How do I survive? And
That's
remember
that part.
120. Dawon, you're the only one who lives here in New York City proper, but like my apartment is probably as big as some of y'all's like walk-in closets or like bathrooms. Like I live in 120 square feet, not including my restroom. Which it could be like a living room. It's so big.
So that's big. He's like, I live in my bathroom. So, okay.
So yeah. Anyways, moving right along.
So I mean, this week is Thanksgiving week. So I'm excited. What y'all excited for? Like, I know every Thanksgiving we talk about like what food we excited for, but what you extra excited for this year? What are you excited for, Jerrell?
I had no intentions on cooking. Like, I'm gonna tell you, I was ready to like order some like Chinese food, sit on the couch and be like just not with it. But I recently discovered like over the last like week or so, there's a lot of my friends that aren't going back home again. And last year I cooked and I made meals for like 20 different friends in the neighborhood. And I just like made to go plates for everybody. And I delivered them so that way everyone can have a home cooked meal. And now I'm feeling that sense of like, I need to take care of my babies again. I need to like make a meal for all these people again. So
come through, Gold Belly.
Start
charging $80 a meal.
Let me tell
you, deep freeze and
ship,
honey.
Deep freeze and ship.
So I'm trying to like get in the mindset of like cooking again, because like when you cooking Thanksgiving, you don't start the week of, you start thinking like at least the week before. So here we are, like literally like 8 days before. My mind is like, all right, I'm going through the grocery list. I'm thinking about what I'm going to cook. If it's going to be as big as it normally is, like.
What's the one that you put your foot in? What's the one that everybody's like, "Ooh, Jerrell, you don't make the shit out this." He said everything.
No, not everything. It's super simple, but like my mashed potatoes are on point. They're literally like the first thing to always go. Like it's my one signature dish that I will make sure that I bring everywhere, because people are always like, hot fucking damn.
I have a question. I'm raising my hand. I'm raising my hand.
What's that,
boo? Are we a butter, a mayonnaise, a heavy cream, a Greek yogurt? What's happening in this mashed potato?
We do butter. Okay. We do butter.
So we do butter in this house.
In this house.
Yeah. We didn't do Greek yogurt. Yeah.
Wait, you said mayonnaise though?
I ain't never heard of that's a potato salad to me.
No. Apparently, it's a secret.
It's oil.
It's a secret. Yeah.
That's true.
It's oil.
It's just egg and oil. Yeah, you're right.
Egg and oil, right? And some seasonings, a little lemon.
I don't like mayonnaise though. I really don't.
Corey I don't like get
splattering that shit on everything. I'm like, ugh.
I remember sandwich only.
Yeah, but if the room was dark and it was hitting your face, you wouldn't be complaining.
I would. I'd be like, I smell it. I smell it.
Complete silence. Did you all see that? it was like dead silence for 2.2 seconds.
If you can see my face on YouTube right now, ooh.
I literally thought about that. I said, you're right.
Do you like mayonnaise, Dawon? Yeah, boo, me either. See, we see
Chipotle mayo. You know,
Chipotle mayo is my shit. No, I will fuck with Chipotle mayo.
A little lemon aioli, a lemon garlic aioli. Yeah.
I'd be mad when they put that shit. They be putting that like on the side with like fries and stuff like that. Like, oh, you can dip your fries. And I'm like, bitch, get this off my plate.
Bitch, and my ass be like this.
You're taking up room.
Yeah. 2 fingers.
What you doing this year, Dawon?
I'm doing 2 things. On Thanksgiving Day, we're going out to eat. And my favorite thing about Thanksgiving is the leftovers. And you don't get leftovers when you go out to eat. Well, at least I don't. I don't take shit home from the restaurant. I just don't. So
that's an Auntie Shar thing if I ever heard.
That's very much.
So I'm actually cooking, I think I haven't decided, either Tuesday or Wednesday. I think we're gonna cook Tuesday. And I bought like almost all of my ingredients. I do have to get some of the fresh stuff. you know, and I need to do that like the next couple of days before everything's sold out. But I have most of everything else that I need. I have stuff that stuff to make the stuffing. I'm making cornbread stuffing, collard greens. I may do black eyed peas with some with like some bacon and turkey neck and turkey kielbasa. Let's see, I'll do like a baked macaroni and cheese. I'll do like a couple of lemon custard pies. I'll do like a couple of sweet potato pies.
I like how you said we're going out to eat, but this bitch, I'm
right for what? What you want to eat for what though?
The whole point of Thanksgiving for me is the leftovers.
Period. I agree.
I will eat those. Y'all know I don't eat a lot. Like I'll graze throughout the day, but I won't like sit down and have like a big mountain of food. My body don't work like that. But
I do.
But however, when it comes to Thanksgiving,
you make your body work.
she Jabba the Hutt,
honey.
just give me all. Right.
Like I legit picture you like in sweatpants and like your laziest lounge clothes. Just she said, "Fuck it, it's a fucking day."
And that Bob,
and honestly,
and that Bob.
You know, it's like a Thanksgiving charcuterie platter. You know,
charcuterie. See, you and these vaginal jokes.
Ooh, it's funny you say that because like Corey, so we're gonna have a couple friends over for Thanksgiving, and honestly, we kind of done that the last several years. One year we went to Puerto Rico, but the last several years, Corey just loves to cook nonetheless. And then one year we had like 20 people, and Corey's like, okay, this year not that many, so I think there will be 7 of us. Corey's he's handling a lot of it. He's doing like the turkey. He's gonna do a ham. He's doing stuffing. We have a friend that's doing like cornbread dressing. I'm gonna make the baked mac and cheese. I'm gonna make a sweet potato pie. I'm trying to think what other stuff people were saying. I think someone's bringing like a like almost like string beans. I saw someone say like a potato au gratin or something, which I've never had on Thanksgiving, I don't think, before. So that'll be interesting. And they were doing all this stuff, and nobody said the baked mac and cheese. And I wasn't gonna do it this year. But I was like, okay, crickets on the baked mac and cheese. No, nope, I'm gonna be in that kitchen, ho. Because
so is that the dish that you like that you put your foot into?
Yeah, it's gotten better over time. Like my mom usually does it, and so still to this day, I'm like, it doesn't taste like my mom's, even though she tells me what she does to it. It's just they just know after decades of doing this shit. But it's gotten better.
And you gotta have that seasoned oven too.
Right? that same casserole dish that she's had for 30 years.
That's soaking
Not
up
the
all
seasoned oven.
Honey, I agree. There's something about that damn oven.
Yes.
But yeah, like I would say my sweet potato pie has gotten very close to my mom's just over time, because I've done that one consistently for probably since I left college. Every year, I would like take it to work and things like that. But yeah, I'm with you. Like Corey was like, "What time should we eat?" Because he likes to eat a little. He likes almost like a typical Thanksgiving dinner time, and I'm like, "Oh no, I need like a
wait.
2,
When you say
2 p.m.,
2 o'clock, because
like a 2 to 3 o'clock.
Because I need that 7 p.m., that 8 o'clock leftover meal. That's what I need.
Back and going right back to sleep,
honey.
That's it. We start drinking at 8 o'clock in the morning. You have like an English muffin, and then you have the first meal at like 2-3 o'clock.
And honestly, I hate like. Because like everyone's like, oh yeah, we'll bring the wine, we'll do this, we'll bring like appetizers. I don't even want no damn appetizers. I don't want to ruin nothing about my meal with no shrimp cocktail and no charcuterie board.
Well, I don't mind a charcuterie board, but don't give me a crudité. I don't need your celery sticks and your freaking carrot sticks with your like. Off-brand ranch dressing.
Right.
The Cornish on pickles,
right?
Olives.
No, you ain't ruining. Right? You are not ruining my day with this bullshit. I won't.
No.
And honestly, I think we said this last year. I could honestly do Thanksgiving without even the turkey, quite frankly.
Ooh,
yeah.
Ooh. The controversy.
A lot of people are doing like sides giving.
Good.
Like they're not doing a turkey, they're not doing a ham because a lot of people don't eat that, and they're just doing nothing but sides.
See, I'd almost prefer the ham over the turkey. I just feel
Oh my
like
God,
turkeys
what a
anymore have just gotten
great-
so generic, you know.
What a great restaurant concept. Nothing but sides.
Ooh.
Take it and run, right?
Yeah.
And it's like a Chipotle dig in sweet green, like one of those like fast
Ooh.
casual
I'm not
places
mad at
where
that idea.
you go through and all it is nothing but sides.
I like that. I like that.
I bet. Let's invest.
What
You
are
heard
you
it here first.
Are you cooking anything? Are you going to friends? What are
Oh
you
hell
doing this
no!
year?
Oh hell no! you know who's not in the mood for Thanksgiving? This lady
Why?
for once in her life. Yeah, I'm just not in it. I'm not in it. I'm not in the mood, and I'm a turkey girl. I love a turkey as long as it's real juicy.
Yeah.
Like my mama's, but
Yeah.
you know, no, and Mama Gladys was hell bent on cooking, and her like
Mama Gladys. Come on, Mama Gladys.
Mama Gladys, yeah, and her place is like under construction, getting some stuff fixed, and I was like, what are you gonna cook in all this dust? And who are you cooking for? Me and you? You're gonna make a 10-pound turkey for whom? No, absolutely not. We're going out to eat.
Okay.
And yes, there'll be Thanksgiving, but yeah, I'm just not. The
Just not in that
mood
mood
hasn't
this year.
it hasn't like slapped me across the head.
Yeah.
With
I
Thanksgiving,
feel like this
year.
holiday season has kind of snuck up, and it's like it's just kind of here. You know, it's just like because usually by now I'm like absolutely jamming like Christmas music. I'm absolutely doing this, and I've listened to it, but like I don't know if the joy of just like the last 2 years has been sucked out. It's just like I'm just tired. I just want to lay down. I don't know what it is.
I mean, we're still in the middle. Oh, go ahead, Boo. Like we're still in the middle of a pandemic. Like, let's not us forget that we are still, and people are still getting sick. People are still out there in these streets infecting other people. Even though a lot of people got the vaccine, they still getting sick. I just found out another friend that I know just got COVID, and it's just like it's like you want to be in the spirit of the holidays or whatever, but it's almost kind of like, I don't know if this is like, I think you were touching on this. It's like, maybe this is a little PTSD, you know, like it's like a little bit of being gun shy. Like, oh, I don't want to get my hopes too up because I'm just waiting for, there's a volcano in the middle of Manhattan that nobody knew. And it just started going off. And like, we have to, like,
Yeah, I don't know. Like Fizz, I don't think Fizz is into the holiday mood right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. We probably won't even end up cooking, but I say I mean, I am, because I know for a fact that my ass can wake up on Thanksgiving. I'm gonna be mad if I don't have some greens. I'm gonna be mad if I don't have some dressing. If I don't have some mac and cheese. If I don't have some, I know I'm gonna wake up being mad. So I know though, although I'm tired now,
you're gonna wake up that more.
I know I am. I know myself too well. So I'm just not even. I'm not even gonna front. I'm not gonna front. Yeah, bitch, get your ass up.
Right. Get in that kitchen.
The only problem I have right now is like I got too much shit in my refrigerator already, and I'm trying to figure out where the fuck is all this food gonna go.
Isn't that
like,
the
literally,
worst?
where is it gonna go?
It's the worst.
That's right.
Refrigerator is bare. Ain't nothing but booze, water, and fruit.
Let me ship you some of our produce.
Same.
Yeah, I wish I have been cooking up a storm for the last like 2 weeks. There's like a project coming up, a secret project coming up. So I have been cooking up a storm for the past 2 weeks. And once again,
that sounds like a cookbook or a YouTube series or something.
Something's happening, in the background. She's moving and shaking.
I'm glad
the alert's on. We're gonna be paying attention.
Exactly.
So,
it's like, ooh.
But there's all this food, and I've been like cooking late night, and I'm like, oh my God, I have a half fridge, so I don't even have a full fridge, and it's packed to the gills, and I could like every second, like anybody in my building, my friend upstairs, the other day he came down to bring me duct tape for something, and I was like, for my tuck, and and I was like, wait a minute. you need food. Is there food in your fridge? She was like, no, I was gonna order takeout. I was like, no, you're not. I was pulling out all the Tupperware. I was like, here's Monday, here's Tuesday, here's Wednesday. Eat it, reheat,
We
done.
literally have 2 refrigerators because last year Corey's like, we need a refrigerator in the garage. I'm like, do we really?
Yep, that's when you know it's real. When you got that garage refrigerator.
Honey, if you saw our regular refrigerator and the garage refrigerator, we could feed this whole fucking nation. I'm like, girl, and we still go to the grocery store. I'm like, what we getting? Why are we at the grocery store? What we doing here? But I'm like, you know what? Do you, boo? Thank you, Lord, for letting us have the funds to do so. But we did not.
Is there like a dish, kind of going back to what you asked Jerrell earlier, like, is there a dish that you make, that you personally make that everybody else loves, but you have another dish that you make that you personally love?
That's a good question.
So, like, I'll give you an example. Everybody loves my sweet potato pie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I love my cornbread stuffing.
Okay.
It's just like,
yeah.
When I talk about putting my foot in something, I put my foot in both of them, but apparently they like that kind of toe jam and I like a different kind of toe jam.
Right.
Because I will sit there and eat that cornbread stuffing. I'll make a whole, like 12 by 9 like casserole dish, and I will literally eat, like, that would just be my meal for a day.
Ooh, it's the best.
Oh.
That's a good question. And quite frankly, with Corey, like, cooking so much anymore that like 90% of the time he's the one cooking at this point. So a lot of stuff I used to make, I forget anymore. And I'm like, damn, I used to make this. Hold on, I'm gonna make that forever. Let me do X, Y, and Z. So honestly, I refer to Corey anymore.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know, because the people around me, they cook, but they don't cook. So like, if I'm feeding them, they are throwing down. And listen, she throws down. The other day, it's so weird. You know how like Big Brother's always listening, and so the minute you say something, it appears on your phone. I have been talking for weeks about making a version of butter chicken, but like spaghetti and meatballs. Butter chicken, spaghetti and meatballs.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Oh my God. Hold, please, because the morning of Mr. Chili Pepper Cooks of Instagram fame, he's incredible, shows up on my Instagram making what? Butter chicken, spaghetti, and meatballs. And I was like, get the hell. This is insanity. This is absolutely insanity. So I watched him do it. I did it like half his way, half my own way, because it's kind of similar. You make butter chicken, Let me tell you, hands down, in my 40 years of life, it has to be one of the best things I've ever made.
Really?
It was insanity.
Is this recipe anywhere? Have you put up, or is this
no, because there's, you know what? There is literally a message, a reminder since Sunday. Write down butter chicken recipe. Have I done it? No.
You need to write that shit down. And then
I do need to write that shit down.
Next time I'm in New York, we're like, oh, hey, Michael Munoz, I want some butter chicken spaghetti. Thank you.
It was incredible. Me and my friend Kathy, we were like, what is this? It was outstanding.
That's interesting.
Absolutely outstanding. Yeah. But like, if I'm feeding the children, they're coming, literally. And everyone, my circle around me knows that I've been cooking a lot. So people are like, what? Hi, are you housekeeping? Are you home?
Hey, baby girl, how you doing?
What you cooking tonight? You cooking tonight? You can use my kitchen to cook.
But one thing that I will not be having on Thanksgiving is, have you heard that Arby's released a curly fry and a crinkle fry vodka?
Yeah, not until this one has said something earlier.
Right.
Yeah, well.
So Michael's like, yeah, are you guys going to get the vodka that's from Arby's? I'm like, bitch, where?
Well, you get it online, okay? And
not for $59.99 though.
Hello, or like what, $160 for the pair?
Yeah,
is that it?
I said
where you could get both fries for $2 and be good.
No, it's listen.
$2 and Tito's vodka, and it's still less than the $39.99 or $59.99.
No, it's $59.99 for one, $119.98. That ain't even a deal.
Nope.
But listen, they have released a curly fry vodka and a like seasoned fry vodka, and I actually don't think it's a bad idea on their part. Why? Because what is a lot of vodka made from? Potatoes.
That's true.
Potatoes.
They don't taste
right?
like potatoes.
Well,
Right.
wait a minute. Can you wait a minute? You know, come with me.
Right.
What's the Magic School Bus song? Can somebody call him up? But the fact that like the curly fry is like kind of like pepper, salt, seasoning. Think of that in your Bloody Marys. Absolutely delicious. Right? I'm not a big Bloody Mary. I'm not a big Bloody Mary. I'm not a big bloody anything kind of gal here, but you know,
done and seen.
she got that shot and she hasn't had her period in years. So
here we go.
But
don't get the girls talking.
Right.
But honestly, the liquid pizza of it all, I think it actually is brilliant. And then the other one is just kind of like sounds just like regular vodka to me with like something a little extra on the side. Listen, if Absolute and New Amsterdam and Svedka can release like dragon fruit, or even Kettle One can give you like orange blossom and like
those are delicious, by the way.
Orange blossom and punani flavor.
Like
we can.
The grapefruit rosé one, or the grapefruit rose, is so delicious by Kettle One, by the way.
Y'all are done with me. Y'all
the
are
punani.
done.
It's the punani for me.
I will say this. I am that person.
She's been having coochie on the brain all day.
I don't know what it is. It's the spirit of Lainey Kazan. I don't know what it is. But
she's really feeling her auntieism right now.
It is. You know,
I am that auntie. I will say I would try it. I ain't gonna pay for it.
No.
But if someone else had it, I mean, okay.
Take a little sip.
You know, because I was into the where's the beef. You know, that was that.
Yeah,
that got me a couple
we
times.
Have the
you
meats.
know,
we have the meats. They have the meats and they have the vodka now too. And I am here for it. Give me an Arby's like the dip sandwich.
Ooh, the au jus.
The curly fries. And
with the cheese, though, you have to have the melted cheese with the curly fries.
Hello, as if there's any other option.
I survived college off the 5 for 5s at the time. Now it's like I think like 3 for 5.
They just brought out like chicken wings or something like that with Arby's too.
See,
and don't they have like that Coca-Cola Frosty or something like that? Not the Frosty, but like the slushy.
That's Wendy's. Oh
no,
I don't know.
They have something like that, right? Throw like the regular vodka in there.
See, now I might try it. Now I might try it. Throw it in the little cherry slushy.
Hello.
The one's like,
please. Please.
I want my alcohol to taste like alcohol, damn it.
Why said not a whole meal? Not a whole meal.
Not a whole meal.
First of all, ain't fries supposed to be hot?
Not when you're dipping them in your Wendy's Frosty.
I'm just saying, like, fries are...
I don't even understand why people do that. Who dips their fries in Frosties?
It's low-key good, though. It is.
There is a whole demographic of America who dips their fries in their Frosty. I am not one of them, but I am... We are the odd people out here, right? We are the minority.
Right.
Okay. See what I did there?
Hey, thanks, boo.
I'm sorry, but like, damn, like,
like I'm good.
It's a no for me, dog.
I ain't paying no $59.99 for no
Paula, how about you?
Right. It's like she's facing out. Yeah, it's the price point for me. I'm like,
that's what it is, you know.
Right. It's the nerve of it all.
Not no Fry Vodka for no $59.99.
Yeah.
Let me go get that handle of Tito's for the same price.
Listen, how many of y'all were drinking that Pinnacle cotton candy vodka? How many of you were drinking?
I never bought
that. Like Pinnacle whipped cream vodka.
Sure did that UV.
Yes, you did.
Blue and Sprite and like the.
I wasn't.
She's a Kelly gal. Sorry.
In college, okay.
Well,
when she
that was
doesn't worry about
after my time.
hangovers the next day or anything like
Right.
that.
That part.
Now I
man.
take one drink of it. I'm like, look.
How many of y'all are drinking the Fireball of it all?
Oh, I still do.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a whole different story. That's cinnamon. That's cinnamon.
I don't think I've ever bought Fireball.
meal.
I'll do shots at the bar for people like will buy it for me. I don't think I've ever bought a single pint or.
Just wait till a week after this episode.
Oh. Yeah. Well, see, but I ain't buying it. Like I'll take it at the bar, but I ain't going to the bartender and be like, "Hey, mister, can I get Fireball, please?" No.
Please, sir, can I have some more?
Can I have some more?
Fireball is like turn up in a bottle. That's all that is.
That's why I love it.
That's like when you're having Fireball shots, because nobody's drinking Fireball. When you're doing Fireball shots, that's because you're turning up. That's what that's all about. Is
Fireball just Hot Damn remarketed? Remember Hot Damn back in the day?
Hot Damn. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
But
it's Goldschlagers remarketed.
That's it. I never cared for the Goldschlager either.
That's the first time I ever got drunk and threw up. First time.
Believe it.
On Goldschlagers. Oh yeah. We were doing shots of that and shots. I think we counted. We did like 19 shots. I don't know how I'm alive. The first time I was drinking, sophomore year of college.
Ooh, you made it to sophomore year of college before you drank.
Yeah, you know what? She grew up Puerto Rican Catholic in Brooklyn. There was no way I was getting caught drinking.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
Right? Yeah. My ass would have been Mama Gladys would have.
Mama Gladys would have had it.
No.
Mama Linda didn't have it either, but I still found the way.
I was 21. I was 21 when I had my first drink. I was y'all know I was a little like goody two shoes growing up.
I was 18.
I was 17.
18.
Yeah,
that was
I was
21. Oh, I lied. I was 12 when I had my first beer.
Like you had a whole beer or just like drink?
Oh, like I was doing keg stands with my sister.
Oh, that's
my gosh.
Because my dad, I think it was my dad's like
at 12.
I think it was like my dad's. It was like my dad's. Well, because here's the thing. It was like my dad's.
How did they not call Child Protective Services on y'all? Y'all parents just walking around naked, you doing upside down Jello shots with your sister and your grandma.
And they didn't know Anita Baker. I mean, that's the trifecta.
Right.
So
this Cirque du Soleil family.
It was my dad. It was my dad's 40th birthday. I remember it, and he had a keg party at the house, and the kids were there, you know, they were doing this type of stuff in front of the kids and stuff like that. So they went to the casino afterwards, and we were 12, like we were old enough to stay home. You know, we were good or whatever. Well,
apparently not.
But yeah, we were like, oh, we should do what they were doing. You know, let's try this. So sure enough, we were having beer from a keg at 12.
Honey.
Yeah, it was a hangover.
We weren't hungover, but we were fucking drunk and paranoid. We went through a whole like thing of toothpaste trying to brush our teeth because we thought we had beer in our mouths. And we're like, oh my God, no, we don't want to get a whooping. Yeah, but then I didn't have a single drink again until I was 18.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I was curious. I tried it.
I think I had just turned, because I started school a year early, so I was always the youngest.
Mm-hmm.
So I entered college at 17.
Okay.
And then turned 18 second semester because my birthday is January. And so, yeah, I didn't drink like that. I remember, girlfriends of mine's parents were away. And so it was like me and the girls just drinking with her sister and her boyfriend. And we were just shots and shots and shots and a drink and shots and shots.
Oh, Goldschlager at that. That's
Yep, and I woke up in a sleeping bag in my underwear next to her, in her underwear, and I grabbed her, and I was like, what happened? She goes, you don't remember? And I was like, no. And she goes, you did a striptease for us, and then you ran to throw up.
Okay.
Like, thank you.
That's cute.
Thank you.
That's cute.
Damn.
And then he smelled his fingers. He's like, punani juice.
Okay, now we've crossed over.
Oh, that's the line. Okay.
Oh, now we've arrived. Now we've arrived.
That's the line.
There it is.
But quickly before we get into Ask Yo Aunteas, because we could talk all day. You said you had something for us, some article or something that you wanted to get a reaction or something you had mentioned before we hopped on. No?
Me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, this was the Arby's.
It's the Arby's. So, okay, then never mind.
I said let's not talk about the Arby's article because the reactions, the candid reactions,
got it. So you got our candid reaction. Our face said,
Listen, to the Arby's execs out there, if you are listening, and you are, I believe it.
Oh, and if you want to sponsor the show, go right ahead.
Please send all the vodka and sponsorships my way because these haters, all right, ain't worth it. I will take the vodka and your money.
I know that's right. But okay, before we get to Ask Yo Aunteas, we'll take a quick little tea break, maybe with a little Arby's vodka in it. We interrupt this episode for very important information.
That's right. You've been asking for it for a long time, and we have heard you.
Yep, it's been a long time coming, but it's finally here.
Yo
Aunteas
got merch! Hey! That's right. You know what? We got tees, we got long tees, we got sweatshirts, we got fanny packs, there's just a whole gamut of stuff out there, so go and check that out.
We are so appreciative of your love and support, and we are so excited to launch it. Girl, where can we find it at?
Ma'am, they can head right over to minoritareport.com to check out the selection.
That's right. That's MINORITEA report.com.
All right, here we go, ladies. What time is it?
Ask
Yo
Aunteas.
Hey.
The reggaeton of it all. Right. Listen, Puerto Rico, we got to represent.
That's true. Hey. Oh,
she's a beatboxer all of a sudden. I didn't know I could do that.
She's a track star.
When the boys ask what that mouth do, she
said, refer to episode 146.
Right? They should probably ask what it don't do at this point.
I know that's right. That's like, anyway. Okay. Hey, aunties. Another queer friend of mine told me that my out and proud, in quotes, lifestyle makes them feel inadequate. I like to dress up and I present as very gender non-conforming. In other words, I guess you could say I'm always quote unquote on when it comes to my identity and how I express myself. Do I need to do better to make space for more reserved queer people? Is there any virtue in turning it down? Aunties, in other words, am I too much?
No.
I mean, it's possible to be too much, but I don't think you're being too much when it comes to how you identify, how you represent yourself. Like, that's other people's issues. I mean, do you talk too much? Yeah, maybe you're doing too much. You know, are you drinking too much? Yeah, maybe you're doing too much. Are you sloppy? Yeah, maybe you're doing too much. But when it comes to how you
dress, not how you dress. Come on.
No, but show up and show out. Like that's the love of it all, you know.
No,
and
let the people rise to the occasion, right?
Thank you. Yeah, you know.
Come on now, Maya Angelou.
Yes, and this is why the cage birds sing. But honestly, yes, absolutely. You know what? Be you. Live your life. Live authentically. As long as you're living in it, and it's coming from an honest place where you feel like you don't have to be on. Hear that? Yeah. All right? Where you don't have to be on, and it's truly who you are, then it should be fine, as long as you're actually not doing too much. And if it's not for them, it's not for them. They don't have to go out with you that night. They can invite you over to have a glass of, like, you know,
Arby's vodka.
Yes, or Arby's vodka to bring it full circle. You know, in a more quiet setting, because you're not going to be, if you're not being too much, you're not going to be that on when it's one-on-one, like on someone's couch. You know?
I mean, some people are.
Oh, yeah.
I do. Honestly, I feel like don't let other people tell you how to be you. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't let other people, if they're insecure about it, that's their issue. That's not your issue. Like, are you doing too much? No, you're probably not doing enough. Be you, boo.
Yeah.
Be you. If they got a problem with it, guess what? That's their problem. So,
especially like And I mean, we've seen this in the queer community where someone's like, quote unquote, too much, or wearing quote unquote too much, and it comes out to feminine and masculinity shit. That's what it really comes down to.
X.
And it just bothers me that people still feel like they have to put their insecurities on others just because and maybe you are living your 1000% truth and it's not that, but to still tell someone else not to do their 1000% truth is bizarre to me. And I've heard it, like I've had friends say, oh, look at that queen over there doing that. Like, who gives a fuck? And I'm about to go say, hey boo, because I'm about to put on my caftan and shit like that. And it's just
ain't no hateration in the
dancery. Like it bothers me so bad. Because like we work so hard to be okay with ourselves within the gay community.
Yeah.
And for it to be within the gay community to have people around you still say you're not enough or you're just doing too much and this and that bothers the fuck out of me so badly.
If they ain't feeding you, fucking you, or paying your bills, why are you pressed about what?
And even if they are.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Even if they are, exactly.
This
like
is what
you really don't
signed
got
up
to
for.
understand.
Right.
But legit, we've all been on a journey, our individual journeys here, and I hear a lot of them. Shameless plug on the podcast of my own. I hear.
And what's the name of your podcast?
In Your Mouth.
I know that's right.
But like, I hear a lot of like, there's a lot of coming out stories, like, and I don't qualify coming out stories because, you know, from the struggle or from the quote unquote bad, like a phoenix rises, or from, you know, everybody's journey is different. So how do you qualify that into good or bad?
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, it's like the struggle is real, and all of our journeys to get to where we are has been so like long and maybe trauma filled, or maybe like, listen, I hear great stories too. Mommy and daddy love me. Mommy and daddy bought me dolls, this and that. But still there's that discovery there as well. So, and you can always tell who's being too much and who's putting it on because it doesn't come from a place of you being you, you know? And and as someone who gets told I'm too much all the time, because people, and I correct people all the time, they're like, even if they're joking, oh my God, you're too much. I'm like, nope, I'm just enough.
There you go.
Always, because it took me a long time to get here, a long time. And if I'm not for you, I'm not for you. And I'm okay with that. I understand. I understand that. You know? But like, you're either on the train or you can hop off the train at this stop, right? And great. Like, I'm gonna keep moving. So like, do you, but it really has to come from like a grounded, authentic, like you are actually being you, and they're not trying to say something in a terrible way to you.
And here's the thing: you never hear someone say it to someone that, and like the stereotypical maybe like masculine things, like, oh, you watch football too much or you watch baseball. Like, it's always like the gender non-conforming that like we get these kind of questions or we get these kind of things, and that's what really fucking blows my mind, because it's just like it shows that there's still something within you that you haven't dealt with yet, and that like you feel like that person being around you is going to like bring something out of you or something, you know, like, and that's the part that bothers me, because you never hear this from, oh, you wear carpenter jeans too much. You wear, you know, like,
oh no, I've said that.
I would say that absolutely. Them cargo pants, the ones that zip at the fucking knees, bitch. No, they got to go.
Every time I see a cargo
again,
I'm like,
there's the line.
You know?
What in the 1998 Old Navy is happening right here?
What in the Gap commercial is this?
No.
But and so that's like when I hear shit like this, it's like it's always around gender non-conforming and things like that, and that's the part it bothers the shit out of me. And I'll always stand up for people, like, because I've heard people say, oh, look at that, and I'm like, oh, she fabulous. Like, what the fuck? Like, of course we look at
Let her live.
Like, period. So yeah,
people get so wrapped up in what other people is doing. Like,
you're right.
Ain't you a wreck too? Like, come on now. Like, why are you so worried about what somebody else doing in your life in shambles?
Listen, on the dirty Twitter, I don't know if y'all have dirty Twitters or follow all Twitters, or
the burner account is very live and well.
Well, yes, right. But there's this I don't post. I just peep, right? Just in case y'all getting ideas, you can slide into my DMs. Feel free, but I do not post. I just peep, and so I follow this man that presents as like bi-curious and is. I don't know how I started following this person, but whatever.
He was cute at one time and his dick was out.
No, maybe I don't even know if it was all that.
That usually works for me.
But he said something very interesting the other day because he was defending somebody in this like curious phase of their life, and he was like, the meanest people to gay people are gay people. And I was like, ain't that the truth sometimes?
Mm-hmm.
You know, Dawon.
I mean, there's both.
There's a lot of hate. There's a lot of very different kind of hate. I feel like the hate that gays give each other is different than the hate that it's different than the hate that you get from straights.
Well, I said the meanest people to gay people are gay people, you know? So it's like, right? Yeah. It's different than like the hate and the hateration.
Yeah, because a lot of the straights will say that shit behind your backs and they'll run like, gays are very like, they live for the drama. They live for the shade in front of you to the read-to room, the white chromosome off your asshole, like for real.
Cruella DeVille.
Right.
Listen, I went to a shirtless event, quote unquote, not that long ago, where I guess I was the heaviest person there, and she's not heavy. Not at least I don't think so.
I mean, right? was this like a twink convention?
No. But apparently they're calling themselves jocks. But I was like, really? What? All right. I was the only one with less than abs there. Let's put it that. And someone walked by and there was like, oh, cute belly. And I was like, wait a minute, was that a compliment or was that? And then I was like, oh, I feel like that was shady. And I was like, oh, I gotta get out of here.
You know, there is nothing more than I love in the gay community when playing sports. It's watching the gay person who has the ripped body and they are so unathletic. They can't do nothing. Yeah. I said, you swing a baseball like that. I said, you can't, you swing your arm like you swinging a purse, but it's like you about to slap. I said, no, baby. See, get them fake ass muscles on my face, bitch.
Yeah, I used to work a lot of catering gigs in this city, right? And you know, all the actors and models of it all, and caterers of it all, you know, having all these ripped bodies, this and doing that. Yeah. Right. And then all of a sudden somebody asked them to ask the big guy to carry a table and they're like, and I was like, what are all these muscles for? You're big for nothing. Move out of the way.
And it's just like,
I live for it.
It's just the insecurity across the whole community. And it's just like, you'll never catch me like downing people like that because it's just like, we've all struggled with so much shit. And so for me to throw that like shit on top, no, that is not cute to me at all. And I call people out all the time. Like, I know some of my friends probably get tired of Kerel because I will say it in a moment because I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, that does nothing. That brings nothing to the community at all for you to do that shit. And it's just showing me your insecurities and how like you haven't dealt with yourself. So now I quite frankly like want to limit the amount of time I'm with you because who knows what the fuck you're saying about me. You know?
Those are people like, you know me. I am. She be over here like this,
stirring that brew.
So I make time for the haters. You know I make time. I'm like, oh, so you want to talk about my mama? You know, like I wild out. I see somebody being ignorant like that or being disrespectful to other people like that, and it's like a game of dungeon. She be ready to jump in, like, here we go, here we go. Man. Look, those are the people I make time for. But I love to give people who are living their best life. Like, I don't know, there is something about seeing someone that's like, they are in an outfit that I'm like, damn, I would never rock something like that. But bitch, you are killing it. Yeah. I love to hype people up. I love being like, bitch, you better do that. You better do that. You know, I love being that person. I would quickly be like, hey, let's go.
Period.
Because it feels good. And I love that people get to that place where they feel like that's a great way for them to express who they are as individuals. You know, like I like to do mine through like sports. Other people like to
But
do it through fashion.
Even you have your little moments, so like the little gold face thing you had. And
I mean,
you know,
every now and then, but you know, that's not her. I'm a jeans. I truly am a jeans and t-shirt girl. That's exactly. Where I live in.
She a naked girl.
That's true.
I mean, we're talking about out
right
in
now.
And on the alt Twitter.
Oh no, I'm ashy. Never mind, I'm ashy. Let me put that up.
Who doesn't have pants on?
Okay, everybody got that. So actually, I can't do that. I ain't that flexible. But whoever sent this in, I hope you put your friend in place, and hopefully it's not really your friend because they shouldn't be doing that shit. And hopefully your friend works on themselves because clearly they're still holding on to a lot. Don't let them steal your shine. Do not let them steal your shine.
Don't let them steal your joy.
Mine. I'm gonna let
it shine.
Let it shine.
Where my tambourine?
Let it shine. Let it shine.
Wait, do we have the rights to this song?
Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Hey.
I mean, come on now. So continue to send Yo Ask Yo Aunteas questions to aya@minorityareport.com or DM us. That was a good question, but yeah, shine on, ho, shine out.
God, that song reminds me of Sunday school. I kept like, yeah.
We say that a lot. I can play it. Like, there's certain songs that I haven't played in a while now, but I can literally hop on the keyboard now and hop right back in because we played it so much. It's just like,
my goodness.
The hands still just know where to go. Okay, so we're 52 minutes in. We still need to talk about Insecure and the POC.
Okay.
So we got to get those two in for sure today. So which one first?
The POC, because I'm out of this Insecure conversation. All I watch these days are the Golden Girls and the Real Housewives, right? The OG Housewives and the Real Housewives. I barely have time for any of it. That even so.
Okay, so the POC one. So we held on to this for a couple weeks. We kept on trying to get to it, and I'm trying to find.
Now by POC, people on crack.
Pussies on coochies.
Pussies over coochies, like you said.
Before we hopped on, he's like, "Wait, POC, pussies on coochies?" So he just the whole coochie episode. This episode, but a couple.
I
weeks
don't know.
ago,
I'm in my vagina phase.
You are
before 41 without a wrinkle.
There you go.
Okay.
Flex. Flex.
Right. No flex zone. No flex zone. So a couple weeks ago on the Melanated Social Work podcast or on their IG. So hey gentlemen, hey. They had kind of retweeted or reposted something from someone from the Feminista Jones on IG. And the conversation, we won't go because there was a lot of slides in the post, but they're just talking about the BIPOC terminology and POC terminology. And she was saying BIPOC is disturbing nomenclature because POC, people of color, which is disturbing. If people who are not white are people of color, that makes people white by default. So using this, BIPOC upholds the notion that white people are people and everyone else is defined by their relationship to whiteness. It's racist, it's nonsensical, and it's a result of perpetuation of this ridiculous myth of race. And so it literally stirred up IG for a while there because a lot of people were reposting, a lot of the comments are going in. So I just wanted to have the conversation with you guys, especially with Michael as well, because Jerrell, Kerel, and Dawon were black, but then obviously Michael's, do you say Latinx? I know you said before that was a whole conversation you've had before as well.
Yes, I technically fall under the Latinx. I also technically fall under very light-skinned, Latino, right? Passing, all the things, right? It's I have all the things.
So it was a conversation we want to just see. Does the terminology bother you all? Do you agree with her saying like we just created this because of white, or do you feel like at this point it's kind of created a sense of community? And whoever wants to jump in first, Jerrell, I see your face. Go. Oh no, we'll let the guys. Exactly.
No. I've had to read this since you've sent it to me. I've had to read it about like 40 times, right? Just to absorb. There's a lot to absorb here.
There's a lot to absorb.
Just in this one slide out of 40.
Yeah.
Right, or really 10. But there's just a lot to uncover, and it's another like 2-hour podcast, I'm sure.
Is.
But BIPOC, Black Indigenous People of Color. Now, as my understanding, and once again, I had to be explained what Latinx was, because I thought Latinx meant one thing, and then a Venezuelan man was like, no, right? Because the short of it is that people from Latin countries are not Latinx. They are Latino, as opposed to somebody who was born in America who is of descent is Latinx. There. That's the easy way to explain it. So it was a stripping of the culture, much like this is a little bit, right? Conversation. And so once again, Black Indigenous People of Color, I always thought it was like, Black people, Indigenous, right? Native to wherever you are, and then everybody else of color. Now, I could be wrong here, much like I was very wrong with this Latinx thing, but like, I don't know. I don't know where to begin.
Like,
I get.
Go ahead, Jerrell.
I was gonna say I was just gonna say I get where they're coming from, where it talks about like, it's saying that then inherently people are by default white, and then we're everyone else is other, if that makes sense. But I also understand that with the people of color, there are so many different types of ethnicities and races that make up people of color, that if you're going to say Black Indigenous, then you might as well make room for everyone else. Kind of like, like the LGBTQIA plus, and there's so many other that go along with it. Like, if we're going to make spaces for a few people, we need to make space for everyone. So I get that other argument to it as well. However, I feel like there needs to be a positive way to reference a group of, mixed different type of people. Kind of like, instead of saying necessarily LGBTQI plus all the time, sometimes I would say queer to represent the community. But I also know there are a lot of people out there that like, don't call me queer. I don't like that, So I feel like when it comes to stuff like this, intent really matters. Like, if you are coming at me, I don't want you to come at me because I'm a POC. I want you to come for me because I'm a Black man, a Black gay man. But if you're referencing, me and other different type of ethnicity and races in a conversation, then I would understand POC, because then you are saying all of us, as a group, if that makes sense. So I feel like there needs to be a term that allows us to be able to say everybody when it comes to speaking of people of color and race. But at the same time, I hate that we still have to identify based off of race. Like, at the same time, you shouldn't be saying Black people, or you shouldn't be saying Asian people. Like, we shouldn't be referencing to people based off of their ethnicity. But unfortunately, that's the way the world works, especially in this country too. Like, a lot of different type of fundings and corporations and stuff like that are looking for people based off the skin tone and where you come from. So it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't.
All right.
So
what do you think of Dawon?
I know that the etymology of this term,
big ass word. Come on now.
Woo! Come through, Aristotle. Yes.
But the origin, the etymology, like the history of the word comes from, it's longstanding. This isn't something that's brand spanking new at all. I read an article that talked about that one of the earliest references of people of color was a French reference, and that was like in the late 18th century. So this term has been around for a long time. I get the notion of, like, as we in today's world, as language is evolving, and our understanding of what inclusive language should look like. There is sensitivity to words that could potentially other, or that could further reinforce this notions of superiority of the quote unquote white, people who identify as white. So I understand that. And quite frankly, I agree. This notion of there does need to be some kind of collective term that we can use to define people of multiple nationalities and multiple cultural backgrounds and multiple ethnicities that is exclusive of, the, of white people, just, to call us a white. I was going to say a spade, but
that black can say too.
So like, I agree. Like, it's just, it's interesting, this like world that we're living in where, we're starting to unpack and unlearn a lot of the things that we just took for granted. And while it feels uncomfortable, to hear these kinds of statements, because it's like, oh, well, damn, what is we gonna say? That should never overshadow the fact that if we're trying to change the narrative around the kinds of words that we're using and the power that those words have, and which communities are leveraging those words, it's like Black people having the right to be able to say the N-word and not, and other people aren't, or gay people having the right to say, certain words that reference them, and others not having the ability to say the same things. And so, I don't know where this conversation will land. I understand this notion of being of othering, using this language. I was trying to think like, well, what else could we say? Like, highly melanated people, but then that aliens people, they got melanin, and that's not necessarily white people. So it's, like, I would love for us to get to a place, and it won't happen probably within my lifetime, where we stop. I mean, unless aliens come in and then we, like, stop all these foolishness, and we can just get behind the, the human race. Cause like, if one thing 23andMe ever taught us was that we all a bag of Skittles.
Hodgepodge, right? Everybody was skeeting in everybody.
Yeah. One thing I've heard, like, because I was looking in the comments, and a lot of people were starting to say BBIA, which stands for Black, Brown, Indigenous, Asian Descent. And I'm like, that's good, but then again, like,
it's the same.
But
thing.
right,
yeah,
but I'm just like,
same thing.
But exactly, and that's, I'm just like, well, when you say brown, that doesn't separate people. Like, that's just the color of your skin,
Well,
so
also, just being Latino and Puerto Rican, there are white Puerto Ricans, there are Black Puerto Ricans, there are light-skinned Puerto Ricans, there are, brown Puerto Ricans. So that doesn't really encompass us, right? And in all Latin cultures, and like, I have seen white Black people too. Like,
literally, exactly.
Beautiful.
It's funny you say that. Literally today on a work call, there's a very light-skinned Black guy. Like, he went to Morehouse, everything. And we're just
famous
talking about
model. What's her name? With all the freckles and like the kind of like reddish hair.
Oh gosh, yeah.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yes,
not that long ago, not like Cindy Crawford old, but like,
she has it's like a orangish reddish coily kind of like C4 or 4C hair. It's she's really beautiful.
Stunning. I mean,
I'm gonna look her up.
Stunning.
But it's just interesting how you were saying like the white Black person though. It's just like they were like, the white folks on the call were like, I believe he's a Black guy. And I was like, he's Black. He's Black. But it's just like the wide range. And for me, it's just like, it's just interesting. Like, I feel like every generation kind of comes to this point of trying to figure out what they want to be called. Because I'm like, it was like Negro and then Black and African American. And it's just like, there's always this generational thing of trying to find out what we really want to identify as. And to me, it was just interesting that she thought the opposite of people of color was people. For me, it was just people of non-color. Like, I was like, I was like, I don't call white people just people and Black, like, so that was just interesting thought to me, is that she thought the opposite of people of color was people. I was like, no, the opposite of people of color is people of non-color.
I have a question.
Rooted people.
Yeah, how often are you all using the term BIPOC as is on the daily? This isn't, once again, back to the Latinx. I used it once on Instagram, and then there was like a whole, I started a whole thing, right? And I'm not even that popular. So,
like, I started doing it. I started doing it on this, like, at least in our bio. I started putting BIPOC because, like, POC just didn't seem as encompassing. So I kind of went to BIPOC. And quite frankly, people, like, I get it. It's just like, because what happens is people want to feel seen. Their traumas want to feel seen. They want to, you know, and so I get by shortening it and like doing that, you might not feel as included. So yes, it might be a little lazy, quite frankly. But we're lazy in everything. Like we say R&B, we don't say rhythm and blues. We say like there's certain things where at the end of the day, you know who we're talking about. You know you're under this umbrella. And quite frankly, I feel like we've kind of taken this terminology over. Like I don't feel offended by it because I'm like, okay, I'm with all my other people of color that have some, you know, and it's just everybody but white people. And I'm like, right, it is what it is. And so
that's the point. We are driving the conversation.
The narrative, exactly. And so,
we're driving the
like
narrative
we came
conversation.
up with that terminology, not a white person. I felt like we kind of came up with that because we wanted to include everybody.
I'm actually, no, a white person did come up.
Oh, did they?
Really?
I thought it was like a professor at Stanford or something.
It was
a black lady professor.
No, it was a white.
Not Wendy Osefo.
Let me see.
It was
maybe. Oh, you know who it was? It was.
I don't
even know Wendy Osefo is.
I made a Housewives of Potomac reference
because she's the one that I don't watch.
Because she's the political commentator. She was major before
she went on that show.
Yes, like, and she's a doctor and she has like 40 degrees and she's major.
But yeah,
you know who made it up? That was Rachel Dolezal.
Oh, that was Rachel Dolezal.
Wait, wasn't she back in the news trying to be like gay or something too?
Honey.
Yes, I remember that.
She needs to be friends with Jussie Smollett and they can just go like live on an island somewhere.
Where is he?
He's back on social. I'll be seeing it pop up
everywhere. What's he doing?
He's back in court,
so BIPOC did come from a black professor at the Missouri School of Journalism, Cynthia Frisbee.
Okay.
Come through and come back.
You know, Alexa, every once in a while, she be coming in handy. but like, so I don't know. I feel like every once in a while, and quite frankly, I'm at the point. It's like, okay, I'm glad we're having a conversation, but what we gonna do? Like, are you voting? are you out there doing something? Because at the end of the day, I don't care what we call us, as long as we out here doing what needs to be done outside of just having this conversation on Instagram. Quite frankly,
and that right there, like, what are we like? Is this the most important battle to be fighting right now, as opposed to
everything else?
Honestly, I do believe that there is some merit in the dialogue, right? Because it helps us to really unpack, helps us to unpack like, you know, these notions. But is this something that's worth like dying on the cross for? No, not at all. But it is a catalyst for other conversations. Like at the end of the day, you know, like, you know, blacks, like I use black. I don't, I mean, sometimes I'll say African American, but most of the time I'm saying black. But blacks owned that terminology, just like gays owned like queer and like these kind of like, and just like, you know, women kind of like owned, especially black women, I'll say that black women owned bitch, you know, like this there's power in taking over some of these terms. And I'm not saying that needs to happen here, but I think the question that it raises is, when you think about how we define ourselves into these categories, like what then makes the most sense? Because quite frankly, I don't like the notion that we have black, brown, white, like these colors, you know, because at the end of the day, like this is black. Right. This is the color black, you know? So I get that, you know, as black people, we come in all different shades from like, you know, all the way from blue, black to, you know, whatever. But, you know, but again, just like you were saying, Michael, like people all across the globe come in all different kinds of shapes and sizes and colors and all these other things. So this notion that we have categorized ourselves, you know, into these like, you know, these colorways, you know,
this, or at least like Crayola box.
Like I'm not down with that. So I would actually love, like, okay, if we're going to have this conversation, let's have another conversation about how do we then create a new term that really gets at the essence of what we're trying to say. Right. Instead of like these archaic terminology that's created by white people, right? That positions whiteness in as everything in comparison to whiteness as a standard.
I agree. I mean, like if, you know, over the last few years, if we can have the conversations about pronouns of how people want to be addressed, you know, whether it's he, him, they, them, she, their, not right, etc. Like I feel like we could be having the same conversation when it comes to how people identify when it comes to the color of their skin or whatever the case is as well too. So I'm with you. I think there needs to be a larger conversation, but I also think people aren't ready to take that step, because that means that they're going to also, because at the end of the day, you're still putting yourself in a box if you come up with the term.
That's what I'm thinking.
So like there is no way. Like if you want to tell me like, well, I don't want to be called this, well, guess what? You're still gonna be called something else.
And here's the thing. I hope that I saw this in the comments as well, and it was kind of hinted at even at the caption of it. I just hope that we don't get into this thing where it's interfighting under this umbrella of what I want to be called. Oh, you should want to be called that, bitch. I could be called what the fuck I want to be called, you know? And so that, and it was starting to get on that in some of these comments, and I was like, I was like, now we don't miss the point, and here we are fighting about all this stuff of what you can and can't be called, instead of being out here doing the real work. And that's
and we got all these white men, old white men in their graves, just rolling over, being like, bitches,
and going to the polls and voting in record numbers still, and our ass still on Instagram, and not even going to vote and shit. So that's the part that I get just so frustrated. It's like, I agree with Dawon. It definitely needs to be a conversation to figure out what it is. If you think this terminology means like comparing ourselves to whiteness, which I don't feel that way.
I don't compare myself to white. For me, it's like it's about everyone that ain't white, and that's why I love it. That's why I love it, because I know when I say POC, I'm like, not you, not you, fuck you,
my girl,
you know.
Exactly. And so that's I agree. We need to have the conversation if there's something that needs to come out of it. But we also need to do a whole lot of other shit. If we can rally troops like this for like, it was like hundreds of thousands of like likes and comments and shit.
Yeah.
But not 100,000 people voted for the mayor race here in Atlanta. That's a problem for me. Nope. That's a problem. Y'all should have been in that line at the voting poll on your Instagram and then voting and shit like that, and going to your school board meetings and things like that. So that's the only thing I hope folks are doing, is doing the and portion and not just talking on IG.
Well, there's a comfort in it, and that's yet a whole nother. There's a whole nother long conversation just to have the comfort of being behind the screen. And you know what? As long as, like K. Michelle once said, I love it when you call my name.
We don't reference K. Michelle on this podcast. That's interesting.
I was interested what you were gonna say. Like, ooh, you know, she done said some things.
She done said some things.
It's actually back on the coochie. It's back on the coochie train, right?
Back on the coochie
train.
Right. So the train I'm about to hop us on is the Insecure train, real quick. So episode 4.
Let's do it.
Episode 4. How we feeling? Are we back? Like, okay, Insecure, you got me back? Because I know even last week we were still kind of like, maybe, or at least I liked it. But I know a couple were kind of maybe. What do you think of Dawon?
I don't feel like this feels like a finale season to me.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I feel like these are just like regular okie doke episodes that are great in their own right, but and maybe it's if I check maybe my own biases on this, maybe I'm just like, I'm putting so much of my own expectation in what I want this to be. Yeah. Like I want every episode to be like, I want to be crying, I want to be laughing, I want to be screaming, I want it all to be like that, because it's the last damn season. And so I feel like a twinge of disappointment after every single episode, because my expectation is there, and that's my own doing. I'm putting the expectation out there. So the episode was great. It was super entertaining. I love the whole kind of like cat and mouse game between Issa and Nathan, and you know, both of them coming to terms at the end about you know, that they just need to like be vulnerable and take a chance. And I felt like that was just such a really moving part of the episode. And I loved seeing like everybody having fun and, you know, being at the cookout on the beach, and like that was just dope. But yeah, like that episode kind of like hit the nail on the head for me in terms of like, I think my expectations for what I want out of these remaining episodes in this final season are far outweigh the actually. It's
yeah.
What about you,
Jerrell?
I feel very similar. I will say though, like I feel like this is the first episode that we got more of a Nathan story. Like he was in the whole episode, like even to the point of bringing his cousin in, where we didn't know he had family in the area and stuff like that, and bringing up when he didn't time before he didn't know he was manic and stuff like that, and just seeing a Black man still navigate mental obstacles like that as well too. So I like that dynamic. Other than that, I was kind of mad. Like I don't know, I didn't think all that of it. But I did love that scene where Molly was like, hold on,
I got you.
Risa, are you fucking Nathan?
Because that's how it'll be.
That's what I shared. I was like, I'm that auntie. I am that friend.
That was best friend vibes though. That was like back to the old. For real. That was like back to the old Kanye.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and I lived for that moment, but I also lived for like also seeing Molly in this episode be free. And she was just like, oh, that nigga said he got a cat. Hey, so I'm riding with you,
right.
And it was less of a like, should I fuck him? Should I do this? I don't know. She was just, you saw her take a little bit of control and be like, this is what I want. She
was less worried about the perception of what her acts are doing and just doing what she wants to do.
And I felt that. As far as Issa's character though, I'm not feeling where she's going. Like it's heavy on the insecure parts of Issa, and I hate the fact that like so far when we've seen her, it's like she can't win, and it's very much like season 1 Issa not being able to win, like to the point where like they were clowning her in the school when the kids were like, oh, like to the dating issues, to Nathan and all this stuff. Like she was taking so many L's in the first season, and I feel like they're doing that again this season where she's taking a lot of L's, especially with that artist coming for her on Twitter and stuff like that. I'm just like, I was like, I really didn't like that. Didn't need to be a whole thing. But you also see that quite often about black people shit on other Black folks, being like, oh, they a cop out, they're they here to please the white man and stuff like that. They not really down. So I kind of appreciate it, but I just hope they don't milk that shit too much.
See, and it's interesting to hear the reasons why you guys didn't maybe as enjoy it as much, or maybe the expectations of it might be whatever. I kind of enjoyed this episode and maybe even this season because it's not doing too much. That it's literally playing it to regular ass life, because like it's very few moments in your life where you have these melodramatic moments. Every day is kind of like these random L's or these random stepping stones and things like that. And so for me, I was like, okay, the whole series hasn't been like too much of a dramatic thing. It's like each episode you kind of see why they're doing or coming to where they're at. And I'm kind of glad it's kind of that pacing. It sucks because I'm like, damn, it is the last episode though. So I kind of get the energy we're doing. You're like, oh, I kind of want, so I want to cry, damn it. But then I was like, hold on. They're giving me exactly what they want.
Just wait.
Showed up.
Right.
And so, and it's kind of interesting too, just like the how you connected like Issa this season to season 1. I kind of like the story because it just shows like she leveled up, and there might be some insecurity sometimes when you level up and like recalibrating your footing and things like that. But like, damn, okay, I haven't been on this level yet, and so I might be a little uneasy. I might have been cool when I was like at the we got y'all level, but now I'm with these corporate business. Damn, okay, can I be myself? Can I not? Oh, damn, I rubbed them the wrong way. Now I'm getting these L's, and I feel like that's real life. It's just like sometimes when you level up, you might have these insecure moments and things like that, and you feel like you're taking these L's again. You're like, damn, I thought I overcame that. Like, I thought I was on
I
my
agree,
shit,
but they hit us with a flash forward, and that's the part that that makes me upset. Like, they didn't flash forward, and everyone is thriving, and everyone's doing all this stuff, but we don't see that from the main character. Like, that just don't in abundance, as Kelly said. Everyone that socializes is thriving in abundance. But but like, just like. I didn't like that. I just, if you're gonna do a flash forward, I would love to see some growth from all characters, show me something, and it's for her to be just as insecure as she was in season 1. I'm just like,
see, like, damn. I don't know if she is. Like, I feel like she's insecure in a different way. Like, I don't think she's insecure about the same insecurity she had in season 1. I feel like she's insecure because she's working on a larger level.
I didn't say the same things. I just said as much. So definitely different things, but the amount of insecurities that she has in her life is very similar to number 1. Season 1, she was insecure about her job. She was insecure about her man. This last episode is literally the same thing. She was insecure about the shit she was dealing with her work, with that artist on Twitter, and insecure with a man named Nathan.
Okay, I hear you, boo. I just see it different.
well, holy spoiler alert, because I just started episode 1, and y'all just fucked this up for me.
I'm about to rewatch all the Insecure again.
Goodbye.
Right, delete. I know, and normally I do a spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. We're about to watch Insecure. So we'll see what the next episode. I mean, again, the bundles were looking good in this episode. The clothing were looking good. Like, so clearly their budget.
The lighting was amazing. The music is amazing.
I can't wait for that soundtrack. Great. I'm gonna miss the music. That's one thing I am really gonna miss about the show is the music.
The
music. They just do such a good job. I'd be like trying to suggest, like the credits come on, I'm like, oh, who this is?
Right?
Shazam! Like,
seriously.
And they'd be like, oh, this came out in 2016. I said,
I know, that's what
I missed this song.
There was a song in this episode that I Shazammed, and it came out in 2020. I was like, damn. And then I was like, well, I wasn't looking for nothing. I was just trying to stay alive.
Booked and busy.
But my life.
Wait, speaking of new jams, Kelly Rowland has a new jam or newish jam. Something just came up that ish. I'm gonna say ish.
Maybe it was.
There's something new she's got.
I don't know. All I know is like, I feel so good to be alive. That's that Beyonce.
I mean, she had that EP at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. Yes, that.
Yeah, okay. That Black Magic. Yeah, I mean, that was a good EP. I liked it. I liked it.
I still feel like she still has not found her footing. She should have stayed either in that
dance
or the EDM lane.
Yes. Because let me tell you, when Love Take Over, still I'd be like, right. Look every time, okay,
or the motivation,
Commander. Or Commander comes
Commander,
out. I said, bitch.
But this kind of like in between stuff is fine, but it's not her. It's not her strong point to me. It really is.
No, that EP I heard was great. I was like, she's back. She's back in action.
It's good.
It is good. It is
good.
And
then she had a feature on something with somebody.
Atmosphere? No, that's not his name. What's his name? It's a little young boy. Oh, I love his music too. What is it called?
Oh my God. And can we go back a minute? I don't know why or what made me think of this road and fall down this road, but there's a Michelle jam where Kelly and Beyonce are singing backup. What's that one?
Jesus says nobody can say
I know.
Jesus
say yes. Nobody can say no. That just came back into my life.
A thing. I know that's a bop.
That really is a bop.
And actually, that Michelle album, by the way, was
so good.
Wow.
Fire. But let me tell you, the Disney fountain fireworks that happen in my shower.
In the shower. I was about to say in that video too.
Well, no, it's like the fountain at the Bellagio in my bathroom.
With all the Times Square lights coming through.
Oh my God, that and like the whole thing. It was like I had a douching accident up in there because like floor to ceiling, just wet.
Ooh. What you doing? You doing pussy popping on a handstand, douching?
Just when that song comes on. Oh my God.
I hear you on that. But Michael, tell them where they can find you, boo, and tell them what day to listen to your podcast and all that good stuff.
Listen, you can find me right here on the Minority Report.
That's right. I know that's right. I know that's
First
right.
and foremost, I need to thank you all for always embracing me.
Oh, for sure.
And what I do, and just being a support system behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
Because we've been in this game a long time together, side by side, alongside each other. So that's important to acknowledge and to put out there into the universe. May we continue to lift each other up, because if I rise, you rise, and vice versa.
Absolutely.
Right? It takes a village, and we are are a family. And so
Come on, dream girls.
And we are the village people of color.
Yes, we are. And so I can't thank you enough always for the support and the love that you show me on and off the air. It's important to say. And so I would be amiss if I left here and didn't mention that. Other than that, you could find me anywhere podcast. If you're listening to this podcast, you could find my podcast, right? It's called
In the Notes.
Yeah. Yes, in your mouth. You can, if you want to know more about me and my fine ass and what I do, you can go to www.themunoz.com. That's the MUNOZ.com. My other Instagram handle is The Kitchen Gaily. That's daily with a G. And yeah, just Google me. I'm findable.
Google.
What you won't find is that alt Twitter where I don't post.
Right. I was like, what's that burner Twitter?
But hit us up on the side.
Right, hit us.
I'll give it to you once you press stop. Once Miss Zoom lady over here.
Yeah,
right. But you ain't gonna see anything. You're just gonna see. I treat it like
we're just gonna see what you like, though. We're gonna see what you like.
Like you're gonna go through my mind.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's like, ooh, I like that too, Michael. Ooh, yeah. Oh man. Well, community, continue to stay safe out there. Happy Thanksgiving. Eat eat everything. Don't worry about your pounds during this season, because I know be like, damn, I ate too much. I done gained. Fuck all that. Eat it all, ho.
Yes, and for those of you with like tummy issues out there, there are lactose digestives. There go on Amazon. Lactose digestive. No, not even like the all naturals. Like it's literally a lactose digestive. It's literally like an all natural food digestive. I am not a doctor. Consult your doctor. I only like to play doctor on the radio and in my bedroom.
That's where I was going.
But once you talk to your medical professional, get yourself an all-natural digestive. They certainly help.
Ooh, there we go. Because I'm going to get me about 2-3 meals that day. Hello. But stay safe. Wash your hands, wash your legs, wash your ass. And we will see you next week.
Bye, y'all.